Welcome to Victory, the podcast, special edition Rams Victory. We're lucky enough to get Robert Woods here, local Gardenia and USC grad.
California kid.
Yeah. So how you doing, man?
Been doing well. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having a local kid on the show.
That's incredible.
That must be, how great is that to did you grow up? Obviously the Rams have been gone back, so you may not have missed. Were you a fan of the Rams growing up?
I was, the greatest show on turf. Always watched them. Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt doing their thing, Marshall Faulk. Was really excited just as a football player being from LA for the Rams to come back to LA. And then for me to sign with them, on top of that, it was just a dream come true to be able to play here for the home team and do what I've been doing right here in front of everybody.
Yeah, how great is it to have this new amazing stadium, which, by the way, I kind of predicted it on Entourage years before it happened. But how is it to be have a great team going and being in this amazing stadium? That's got to be a good thing.
Yeah, it's really like a whole shift and change, coming here with Sean McVay, new staff. As you can see, we switched up our logos, our colors, our uniform, have SoFi Stadium, just a whole new look to come back here in LA. And really just kind of flip the script, come and be a top team, always being a contender, and really just trying to get this championship back here in LA where it belongs.
Hey, Robert, do you think I look like Sean McVay at all?
He wants to so badly.
On social media, people tell me I look like Sean McVay. I don't think so. I think if I bulked up a little bit, I could maybe play him in the movie.
Some people tell me I'm built like Robert Woods, but I don't see it.
I do know you do have to get in the weight room. He's pretty jacked up.
He's pretty jacked. I will give him that. He's pretty jacked. So, Robert, question for you. So, obviously, anytime you get drafted in the NFL, it's a great thing. Doesn't matter where. But as a kid from California, you get drafted by Buffalo. Now we're from New York, so we know what cold is. But were you thinking oh my goodness, what am I gonna do?
Yeah, I just remember my that first call, getting drafted, talking to the teams, and then kind of just thinking okay, Buffalo, New York. I know it's gonna be cold. Yeah, I'm okay, probably 30 minutes from New York City. Just being right there. And then actually going out to Buffalo, looking out the window, seeing what it was all about. But definitely cold, definitely freezing temperatures. Went through a storm when I was there, but it's been great.
But Robert, obviously, USC, you're projected top 5, top 10 at least, and then that year didn't go as planned, and you dropped a little. Now it's years later, and you've, I don't know,
it's all meant to be.
$75 million in contracts or whatever the numbers are.
Look at Doug.
But was that a motivating factor? Was the draft a disappointment for you?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was a disappointment, but I would say it's one of those things. Obviously, you're pleased to get drafted. I knew I could sneak in that late first round, end up going early second. But you always note the receivers and the players taking ahead of you. My goal still to this day is to outlast everybody I was drafted with. But you definitely note it. You know who's in your class. And you're just happy to get in the league at that point. You're happy to be somewhere and the team won you.
And what's the real thing to outlast people besides obviously working hard? Are you,
take care of your body.
We've had a couple, I'd like to hear him say it, since he's lasted longer
Sean
than you.
McVay,
but,
take care of our bodies.
but we had a couple of your teammates on, and everybody, we had DK Metcalf on our show also. Everybody nowadays seems, I don't know if it's the party line or what. It's just we come home, we watch TV, we're not here to party. Is there any fun going on in the NFL anymore?
Yeah, I would say so. It's been a while with COVID going on. Everything's been limited. Guys been trying to really, we say keep our environment safe, keep everything in the house. But it's still the NFL. You still have your fun. You still get your treatment. Being here in LA, you have your perks, you have your bonuses. I would say it's no better place than play football here in LA. Having the perks, the restaurants, Hollywood, Entourage, having experiences like
this. And winning helps too, right? Being on a winning team is always nice, right?
Of course. Keep winning,
but
stacking them up.
Since Robert brought up Entourage, because I'm always does anyone even know who we are? You guys are younger and stuff. So you have seen the show.
Yeah, seen the show, seen you guys' movie.
Nice.
Been following you guys. Huge fans.
Good. I appreciate that.
We're big fans too. And all right, I have to ask this question, and I already know the answer, but how annoying is the fantasy football thing. And are you aware of your fantasy score and how annoying? I mean, look, you love your fans, right? But I mean,
I don't even know.
that
I don't even know
myself,
if I want to
stop
address
myself.
it because it's already so bad. If I, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's clearly you see that people aren't watching games. They're literally just checking their team or checking stats and not knowing what's going on. And you get these crazy messages, whether it's pregame, after the game.
Are you playing? Are you healthy?
Are you playing? I'm betting my whole house on this.
Everyone wants to be Adam
pay my
Schefter.
tuition. You're literally getting it all.
Yeah, people take this fantasy thing so seriously. They feel like they know you, right? Like you're part, and it's but are you aware of whether you hear it or you see it on Twitter? Do you know what you threw up on the fantasy scoreboard at the end of a weekend?
I do. The fans let me know, but one thing I don't know is how the points are tallied. I just know the fans let me know when I have a big one or if I came through for them. But yeah, I know when the big games come, they definitely love it. Get tons of messages and tons of responses.
And Robert, so how did things change? Obviously, Jared was a great quarterback, and Matthew's now playing great. But how much changes for a receiver? Obviously, the way he throws the ball, but just chemistry and personalities. Does that make a big difference in how you approach it every day?
Yeah, I would say just his leadership and experience is one of the huge differences or takeoffs from Stafford and Goff. Just his experience being able to be out there and knowing the defenses or knowing just certain looks, he's able to just communicate sometimes with a finger or eyes, something that he's expecting. We're on the same page. But just making different reads, making some different changes in our offense, putting guys on different routes. I think him and McVay are a great combination. But really just the experience and him being able to have those reps in games. I think that's the huge difference right now.
Is there ever any small talk in the huddle? I'm serious.
Like about what we're doing later or what?
Well, not necessarily, but I mean, these guys know each other. Right? Is it all like screaming in like numbers and routes, or is there a little chit chat ever?
If anybody is doing the chit chat, kind of breaking it up, it's either myself, Tyler Higbee, or Brian Allen. I think a lot of the guys are so locked in and focused in on the task, and you feel it all game throughout. And sometimes you may hear a guy just kind of break up the focus, just like, hey guys, relax, we're doing well. Just to crack a smile and just, refresh and like get back at it. But there's definitely times where there's small talk and get guys, to laugh, crack a smile, and just remember we're out here having fun.
What about Andrew Whitworth? We had him on the podcast. He obviously
is a very large individual.
He is a freaking monster with his golf swing looks like as good as anybody.
I didn't even want to take a picture with him because I was embarrassed. I really was. I was like, I don't want to take a picture with this guy.
How's his demeanor? He seems like the nicest guy in the world, but I gotta believe he's just
a large man. Yeah,
but he's not fucking around. Ooh, I can't.
Yeah, you can. We'll bleep it out.
He's not messing around.
Effing around out there.
Yeah, no, he's definitely not. He's our anchor. He's our grandfather captain out there. He's the one who's locking us in, letting us know if we got to pick up our tempo. Keep staying on our necks. We need to score on this drive. He's kind of the one who's keeping that engine going. He's adding that coal to our train, keeping us fueled up. And when you see that fist pump, we talk about Witt's fist pump. When we see Witt's fist pump, we're doing something right. We're executing our plays.
Nice.
I'm the guy that asks the dumb questions. Do you like being mic'd up?
I feel like I kind of have to I feel like I monitor myself when I am mic'd up. You just gotta be careful what you put out there and what's out there. But I feel like when
do you get kill power? Can you cut out the part where I was cursing and I told that guy he sucked? I mean, or do they just take it?
They just take it out. Wow. When you watch the copy, you're like, wow, they really kept a lot out of there. But I mean, it's a lot of cursing, there's a lot of trash talking.
I bet.
It gets intense, especially I like going against guys who talk back. That adds more competitive juices to us.
So who is that? Because I know Jalen Ramsey's got to be one of those guys, I don't know, in practice who talks a lot, I would think. But who? Two things. Who are you not thrilled to line up against? And who's got the biggest mouth out of all of them?
I'm thrilled to line up against them all. The best one is Jalen. We always want to go against the best one, the best competitor. We think is Jalen. best lockdown corner in the league. But honestly, the other trash talker, I had some good ones. Happened to be teammates before, and that's Aqib Talib and Marcus Peters. We go against Marcus Peters with the Ravens 2 years ago. And boy, he was talking. That was his first game back too, playing the Rams. But he's one
Does
of
he
the
get
ones.
personal? Like, what kind of stuff is he saying?
I mean, it's it all. You know,
Just
it's whether
trash
it's like
talk, right?
your routes are trash. You know, I've been locking you up at practice. We've been doing this since college. But literally, you get it all. You want to just enjoy the moment, stay in it, and it really brings the best out of players. You know, you bring
So,
your A
but
game.
are they? Is he like when he's saying that to you, your routes are trash? Is he being half funny, or he is just like locked
trying to
in
get
to
in your
try to
head.
get in your head? Let me ask you. So, I mean, is that like, is he really thinking he's going to get to you like that? And does anyone ever get under your skin to the point that you just can't?
So I
hold
remember
back?
my first time hearing Marcus Peters trash talk me. He was with the Chiefs, and I had like just a clear out route. I was running a route, getting somebody open in Buffalo, and he's like, "Man, that route is trash. Like that's weak." And that's when I realized, I'm like, "Okay, you're just talking," because now it's like the guy behind me is running wide open, getting the ball, but it's just like he's always has to say something. And once you acknowledge it or you give him eye contact, that's when he keeps going. And if it bothers you, it's even worse. It adds fuel to the fire.
I love it.
When we had DK Metcalf on the podcast, we asked him what defensive back, and we didn't even get the question out of our mouths before he was like, Jalen Ramsey.
Jalen Ramsey,
no
yeah.
question about it. What is it that Jalen Ramsey does, aside from being great? Is he a trash talker? Is he just stare you down like like a Rocky movie?
I think it's it all. It's his whole presence, his demeanor, straight baller. I can go back to his. He lines up against the best receivers every single time, but I'll go back to his first week here, and you see it was us against Atlanta. He had the one-on-one matchup against Julio Jones. Our whole team is like, all right, we got Jalen Ramsey on our team. We locked in. Everybody's watching. Like, what you
That's
gonna
awesome.
bring? And I think you just see him just being competitive, going up there and making guys, whether it's drop passes or incomplete passes, and he's excited about it. He's letting himself know I'm the best corner. Receivers are looking at him, seeing him flex, seeing him run down, waving his finger. And you got to take offense to it. You take pride in craft. You get in lockdown. Someone's showboating you up, exciting. You don't want those plays to be made on you. And Jalen continues to make these plays.
I love it. So another thing we asked DK Metcalf, I want to ask you. Connolly fancies himself for a middle-aged man to be pretty speedy. So we asked DK, what yard line could Connolly start on that he could take him down? What do you think?
I started on the 50 and you started on the goal line, could you catch me before I made it to the end zone? I mean, I'm 47 with a plate in my ankle.
I would hope not.
Oh, so that would be really slow.
that would be really, really slow. If you get caught, you might not be able to run anymore. You might just have to say you go walking on Saturday mornings.
That's it.
Well, Robert, we had Russell Wilson on in the movie, and he overthrew Connolly, who dove for a pass and broke his leg.
I broke my leg.
So he might have been able to start at the 40 10 years ago before that accident happened. But so outside of football, Robert, what are you watching since we're TV guys? You watching any shows that you're into when you're traveling on the road?
Squid Games?
Oh, yes. I watch Squid Games. I know everybody's probably attached to Squid Games right now, hooked to it. That one drew me in. From episode 1, the red light, green light was attached to it. Crazy ending. I just saw LeBron say, "Get on the plane, dude." Let me not spoil it, but it's a great show, great concept. Look more for more shows and more interesting ideas. That's really different and extraordinary.
All right, I got a question. This is my last dumb question I'm going to ask. How often do you guys practice trick plays? And by trick plays, I mean unconventional plays where you go, I don't know if you saw the thing that the Chiefs did where everybody on offense at a certain point lined up under center, and you think, how often do you practice that? And at what point are you confident enough in such a wild kind of trick play? How often do you run?
Yeah, I would say we try it out for weeks and weeks.
Really?
Yeah, I remember we had a good one in a few years ago. We kind of practiced that one from early on in the season. Didn't run it to about week 9 or 10, and I mean, you gotta make sure it works. You know,
Yeah.
passing
Well,
the
so
ball
how
to
did it
multiple
go?
people. You can't. It's either going to work or it's not. It's going to fail.
And are you
dramatically
excited when
or-
that play comes in? Are you like, all right, let's go? Or are you kind of nervous, like, well, okay, we
Oh
got
no,
one
no,
shot?
you're waiting on that call. That's the one that you've been, like you say, you've been working on. You've been practicing. You finally get that call. Everybody's excited. You might see some smiles as people line up and take their
Well,
position.
that's what I was gonna say. Your acting skills have to kick in at that point because you can't let the defense know that you got a trick play coming. So everybody's got to keep a straight face. I think that's so funny. How did that play go when you did it in week 9?
It went well. We did a spin-off of that. We had a touchdown in London. We threw it to Cooper Kupp. It was kind of like a double reverse toss back pass.
Jeez.
Yeah, ended up being a touchdown, and that was kind of a spin-off of another trick play that was a double reverse to myself. Got all the way down to the goal line. But those plays, I mean, our coach is probably thinking of plays right now. He's always thinking of something. But when those
That's
plays
awesome.
are successful, you just keep building off of it.
That's great. Well, it seems like the team's in a good place. and
Everybody's locked in.
Everybody really does feel focused, and I don't know, everyone we've spoken to, you guys seem so nice. It just seems like it's not North Dallas 40. If you know that movie, I don't know if you've ever seen it. But
I don't.
And you should check out Heaven Can Wait, which is a great movie where the Rams
about the
do go to the
Rams.
Super Bowl, and that was one of the movies that made me a Rams fan when I was a kid. So we wish you the best of luck this year. Everything looks great, and hopefully everyone stays healthy and bring us Super Bowl back to the Rams, since I know the Giants aren't winning it. So
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it.
Thanks so
Thanks you
much,
guys for
Robert.
having me.
All right,
And hopefully that's the movie of the year for us this year.
That's it.
I
All
love
right.
it. Be good.
All right, thank you guys.
That's it.
Appreciate it.
All right, take
Rams
care.
victory, the podcast.